So this beauty right here is going to be the last thing you're gonna see me eat before I head out. Now the next time you see me, I'm gonna be walking through an airport. We're in Vegas now.
I always went to shows just to watch the lights, see the crowd exploding. I've never been afraid of a sleepless night, so it's time to party. I always went to shows just to watch the lights.
You'll win somehow, so give up on the battle, baby. It's hard, I know.
Hey, what's up guys? I feel like we've not talked in so long. As you've seen, I've been traveling a little bit, and when doing that, I don't get to film a lot, so I've not had this camera stuffed in my face for a few days now, which I guess has been a little bit, not relieving, because I do enjoy making these videos, but it was good. I feel very refreshed coming back. I didn't edit, I didn't record anything except for that full day of eating in Vegas, which hopefully you guys have either already seen or you will be seeing very soon. So it's just a nice way to get away, I guess, and get my creative juices flowing again. Sometimes I feel like these videos get very repetitive, and I really try to get out and see different things to bring in new and unique ideas into the channel. So hopefully that will be reflected in some upcoming videos. But I am glad to be home. I am definitely a homebody, and I just like my normal routine. So even though I was traveling a little bit for work, I still feel so behind in work. I feel behind on videos, but we're gonna make it all up here. So first thing I want to say is thank you, because right before I left for Vegas, I put up that video announcing that I got sponsored by PES, and I wasn't really sure how that video was going to be received, but you guys were beyond supportive, and I really do appreciate that. I got so many comments from people saying that they were going to go ahead and use the code, and you really did. I can check all that, and I tracked it, and I didn't really expect, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 people to use it, but a lot of you did. I can't really remember the number, probably like 20 people use that thing. And like I said, I get paid when you guys do that. And now I just got back from Vegas. I spent a lot of money in Vegas. So of course I want to take that money, put it in my pocket, you know, replenish the bank account a little bit. But if you guys remember the video, I told you I would be putting that money back into the channel. So because of all of your kindness, I went ahead and ordered a microphone for this camera, so hopefully you guys will be noticing some improved audio quality. Now, I didn't make enough to pay for this thing completely, but you know, it put a nice dent in it, and that is the least I can do for you. If you guys are gonna do that, use that code and support me, then I have got to at least give you guys something back in return, and I'm always trying to make this channel better. And it's just an ego thing. Obviously, I want the best quality out there too, so we all win here. So thank you guys, I really do appreciate that. Speaking of spending all this money, man, Vegas is expensive. I tell you what, I think I bought a $5 bottle of water in the hotel. And just, you know, you go things, you get swipe happy. You just start swiping and everything. I think I spent close to like $100 in that one day of a full day of eating video. But I mean, it was nuts. So now I'm back, and we are gonna get back to spending less money. I gotta save up a little bit after that. So a lot of you will tell me, you know, bulking can be expensive. You have to buy all that food. Well, yeah, it can be, but there's a lot of different ways to save money, and I guess I'll go over a few here. First off, don't pay more for the exact same thing. Even if it means going to a store that's, you know, not the best and not the high class store as some people would call it.
Just to flex on it, we ain't really gotta lie, yeah.
Now, even if you're bulking and you need a surplus of calories, it doesn't mean you don't have to eat your micronutrient dense foods, your fruits and your vegetables. The problem with that is that fruit is very expensive, and that is why I try to stick to bananas and apples, even though I would love to eat almost every fruit out there and a large quantity of them. Just cost so much money, especially now in Ohio when everything is out of season. So bananas are obviously extremely cheap. Apples are one of those things that you can buy them very expensive if you like. And yeah, it'll taste better if you buy those Honeycrisp apples that they sell individually. But if you just buy these apples in bulk, you can save a lot of money. Not the best tasting thing, but it's fruit and you gotta get it in. So that is one thing I always look for to save money. Another thing is potatoes. Potatoes are dirt cheap. The great part about potatoes is they're so versatile. You can make them in so many different dishes. You can add so many different things to them. So even though they might get plain and boring on their own, you can just make them whatever you want them to be, however much effort you want to put into them, and with a little money doing that. bread is one of those things where I'm like, you don't need to buy the $4 loaf of bread. It's all the same, really. I mean, if you want white, get a white bread. If you want wheat, get a wheat bread. But the thing is, they have these brands that are a lot cheaper than others. You get a loaf of bread for $1.50. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, in my opinion. Now, even though eggs are expensive right now, I guess it was an egg shortage, which blows my mind, they're still a very cheap source of protein. So I'll always stick to eggs and egg beaters, even though egg beaters are a little bit more pricey. So those are two things that I always look for. What else? What else?
Drugs are generic, but still work the same. I get logins for Netflix from my cousin Greg. Thanks, Greg.
You're probably going to want to stay away from prepackaged foods, not even because of the health ramifications, but more because of the financial impact that they have. They're very expensive. It really costs a lot of money to package those foods, but take something like rice cakes, which are a staple in my diet. They're $1 cheaper at Walmart compared to Kroger. So why would I buy them from Kroger? Again, why would I want to pay more for the exact same thing? Now, $1 isn't a lot of money to most people, but when you start adding it up, I mean, I buy, 10 packs of rice cakes every few weeks or so, there's 10 bucks. And the other thing about prepackaged foods is that you pay for the marketing. You usually see it on TV. Don't give the marketers what they want. So we got the rice cakes out of the way.
Quan, what does this have to do with saving money, though? You know what, a full verse would have been too expensive anyways, I think.
Frozen vegetables, something that is very affordable, and I always buy them in the largest quantity possible. I go through at least 2 of these bags per week. Great way to get your micronutrients, fiber, all that good stuff, and I really like vegetables. And if you don't like the taste of vegetables, I've been telling you, throw Parmesan cheese on it. It adds like 30, 40, 50 calories, however much you add to it, but it makes them taste so good. So really, that's all you need. I mean, you got your carbs, you got your fats in there. I know that you guys are thinking I've left out protein sources, and I have for a reason, because some of you are gonna say, you know what, Walmart might have better prices on some things, but their stuff is sketchy. Their produce and their meat is sketchy. And you know what I would say to you people? You are exactly right. And when I was in school, I'd be fine with it, But now that I'm out of school, I will opt for Kroger or Meijer or even like Costco or Sam's. Maybe not Sam's, Costco for my meat selections. So I didn't pick up any. I do have some in the freezer, but even with that, I was able to pick up some Walmart brand canned goods. The stuff that's just a little bit cheaper, and it's the exact same. So all in all, keep in mind, I just got back from a trip. I had no groceries in the house. I spent about $45, I think, on all of that. Now, I still have to go out and buy some protein sources, but that's still not too bad when you think I'm eating 3,300 to 3,500 calories per day. Another great way to get protein source is obviously protein powders, which I can get you guys a 30% link for, but the reason I wanted to bring that up is because I neglected to mention this in the video I did when I talked about PES, because some of you called me out in the comments. You're like, dude, PES is expensive. And yes, it is. It is definitely a premium protein powder, and you do pay for how good it tastes, and I'm not denying that. I know that there are cheaper protein powders out there on the market, even if you use my discount. If PES does not fit in your budget, by all means, do not buy it. I'm not telling you to do that, because when I was in school, I know exactly how that is. You only have a very small amount of money. You're going to school, you're not working a full-time job yet. I get it. But I'm just saying, if you're graduated, you work a full-time job or whatever, if you have the disposable income and you do want to try PES, obviously go through the link. You guys can save yourself 30%, and I do love this stuff, so I'm not just telling you guys that. But again, if you need to go for a cheaper brand, by all means. And if you have any questions on any of that, just leave it in the comments below. So we have talked fast and a lot, as always. It is time to get my first workout in. Now, the exciting part about this is that this is the start of my new DUP workout program that is designed by Garrett Blevins. Now, you probably have heard Brandon Campbell talk about this as well, but we will be running different variations of what Garrett has designed. So Garrett has put programs together for both of us. However, Brandon is only running a 3-day split because he is so lazy. I'm just kidding. But I'm running the 5-day split. So it will be a little bit different. We've talked back and forth, and we do have some different variations just based on our needs. So hopefully you guys still get something out of my training clips. You can tell I've been out of the game for a while. Almost forgot to take my high volume. This is unfortunately the final 2 scoops I have of this, but so many of you suggested that I try the cotton candy flavor that I asked them to send me out some, and hopefully it tastes as good as you guys say that it does. Now, the other thing I forgot to mention is that I have not been using caffeine anything for about a week, and that includes coffee, which is why this is going to be great, because I still want to take something pre-workout, but it doesn't have any stimulants. The reason I have not been taking caffeine is because it's actually kind of scary. My eye has been twitching really bad. I don't know if you guys have noticed it in videos, but I notice I'll be talking to people at work and my eye will just start twitching, or when I wake up it just twitches very bad, and I've been looking up on the internet like what's going on. Obviously WebMD is always right, and one of the causes is too much caffeine, and I do drink too much coffee, I know that. So now that I've been off of it for about a week, it has not been twitching nearly as much. So I'm gonna give that a few more days. It sucks. Terrible timing going to Vegas and cutting out caffeine. It was awful.
I feel your breath closing into mine, but I hate to think we're running out of time.
So this is going to be week 1, day 1 of this DUP program. And the first thing you'll notice, or maybe you won't notice, but I am gonna be high bar squatting. Now, I have not high bar squatted seriously in well over a year and a half. I've been sticking to low bar. I feel more powerful in that low bar position, but we are going to be doing a lot of variations here. So some people might think of this as a little bit like a conjugate method, but I wouldn't go so far to call it that. Now, the one thing that's going to take the most adjustment is the high reps. I think today I'm going to be squatting for 12 reps, which is pretty awful. I mean, none of us really like high reps, right? Especially when I'm used to working within 3 to 5 rep range. So we'll see how this goes. As you can probably tell, the 12 reps leaves me pretty winded. Now, I had a lot more in the tank, so what this program is pretty much designed to do is on your first few sets, we're gonna work with like a RPE 6. So you have at least 4 clean reps left in the tank. Now, the reason for that is because, at least during this phase, that third set is going to be an AMRAP set. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but just getting these 12 reps, obviously I have some more strength there, but this endurance thing, it's gonna take a while for my body to catch up. Hopefully it's pretty evident. I have more left in the tank there, and that is the reason we do these AMRAP sets. These AMRAPs will actually help auto-regulate the program in itself with the Excel formula that Garrett will send out to you if you become one of his clients, which is pretty awesome, especially for an accounting nerd like myself. It's really impressive stuff. And the one thing I wanted to mention about these AMRAP sets is that it's not the AMRAPs that you guys are probably used to. An AMRAP just means as many reps as possible, in case you don't know. But most of the time you see it taken in its literal sense, as many reps as you can possibly get regardless of form. Here we want to keep form intact, so that means that you're only going to be going to an RPE of 8 or 9, because regardless of how much weight you're doing or what rep you get to get as many reps as humanly possible, your form is going to break down, and we don't want to do that. So like I said, 8 to 9 RPE, we'll see how many I can get. And just like that, squats are over. That's one of the cool things about AMRAP sets, is even though it's 3 sets, you get plenty of volume, and I end up hitting 20 reps. And that's a perfect example of how your endurance can fail you before your strength. It's not that I didn't have the strength to move more reps, it's just my breathing techniques are not where they need to be. So that is one thing that this will help improve. I can already feel myself bracing my core against my belt better, just because you have to when you're doing that many reps. So now we're gonna move on to some bench. This is also going to be a bench variation. We're gonna do some closed grip bench press, really hammer out those triceps.
We over here on the east side, girls dressed up close skin tight, cause we're smoking up inside.